You and your daughter would go to bed together, and there would be one bed down there. You were having sex with your daughter Melody, weren't you?
In the quiet town where everyone knew everyone else, the shocking murder of Jim Whitaker shook the community to its core. What started as a seemingly simple case of a missing person soon unraveled into a horrifying tale of deceit, family betrayal, and a gruesome cover-up. As police investigators pieced together the fragments of this twisted story, they discovered unsettling secrets that would leave the town and the nation stunned. When John, a key figure in the case, chose to plead the fifth, it added another layer of complexity to an already convoluted investigation. His refusal to testify about what he knew, whether firsthand or secondhand, left many questions unanswered. The authorities were now faced with the daunting task of not only deciphering who knew what about Jim's murder, but also locating his body and uncovering the true motive behind his death. These tasks proved to be far more challenging than anyone had anticipated. As the investigation continued, the focus shifted to locating Jim's remains. Witnesses reported conflicting accounts of what transpired after the crime. A key witness, Mike, described a horrifying scene, the aftermath of the murder. He recounted how, in a state of shock, he had been guided downstairs by an unidentified individual. The gruesome task that followed involved using a deer sled, a tool commonly used by hunters to transport Jim's body from the scene.
Door of the house. Is anyone else in the house or awake?
Not at the time, no.
Okay. So you walk in the house and then you said your daughter needed to go use the restroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Jimmy comes out, tells me to get the hell off his, get the fuck off his property, and I ask him what his problem is.
Okay. Now, where does he come from?
His bedroom.
Okay. So did you see him walk out or just hear him?
At first I just heard him, then he come out and I seen he had his gun.
Okay. Do you know which gun he had?
The 1100, the Remington.
He had previously not told you to leave the household, correct?
No.
So why was he telling you in this specific instance to do this?
I don't know.
Okay. Did he appear to be in his right mind?
No.
You used drugs with him often, correct?
Yes.
Did he appear to be under the influence in this occasion?
Yes.
Okay. So you told him as soon as Melody gets out, then you'll leave?
Yes.
What did he say then?
Told me Melody wasn't going with me.
So he told you to leave, but that you had to leave your daughter there with him?
Yes.
Did he tell you why?
No.
Okay. Where's Melody at this point?
In the bathroom, behind him.
Did you leave this area at all to go anywhere else at this point?
Yes, I went down to the basement.
Okay. Why'd you go down to the basement?
I got my gun.
Okay. So he had a gun, and then you go and grab your gun.
Yep.
Why did you feel it necessary to go grab a gun?
Because he just didn't seem in the right state of mind, and he had a gun pointing at me.
Okay.
The way I looked at it, any normal person that had a gun pointing at him is going to go get one.
The grisly discovery, Mike provided a detailed account of the grisly aftermath. He described how he moved Jim's body, explaining, "I took him, I slid his head over this way, and put the sled right beside him. I rolled him onto it and brought him out the door. The sled, used to haul heavy game, was repurposed for this horrific task." Mike's description of the events painted a chilling picture of the crime scene. In the days following the murder, the house was cleaned meticulously.
And I can help you. I can talk to the prosecutors. We can get closure. Mike, I'm not lying to you, buddy. I can help you. Listen, I can help you, but you have to help me. Okay? Where can I find Jim? Where can I find him? Let me come over here too. Come here. Listen, turn around here. Man to man. Table. No. Mike, I know you know what happened to Jim. I know. Okay? You understand that? Mm-hmm. Help me. And I help you. It's simple. I will not let you go through this alone. Where is Jim right now? It's okay. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. It's okay. It's all right.
Mike's actions included not just the removal of Jim's body, but also the destruction of crucial evidence. Bloodstains were removed, and the scene was scrubbed clean.
The bathroom back that way, and so you're her. You started to come out with this way. Jimmy's standing there.
Kitchen's over this way.
Yep, and Jimmy's right there, and I'm over this way. And Jimmy went because she started to come out, and you went to grab her by the neck.
So if I go out, I go to grab him, right hand or left hand?
He went to grab her by his left hand.
Left hand?
Or that would have been his right.
Okay,
Because
like
he had
this?
a gun in his hand.
Okay. Was the gun pointed up or down?
Kind of like pointed like it, my stomach area.
So then what happened? So was his finger like on the butt of the gun?
No, it was more like the butt, like I showed you earlier, but he had it
On
like
the butt.
on the trigger.
So his finger was on the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So he had it like that. He had like this.
Yep,
Then what
I
happened?
grabbed a hold of the gun and pushed it up, and it went off.
So while he still got his hand around her neck?
Well, she just started to walk in. That was like a distraction, it seemed like to me.
So his hand was actually on me, on the girl,
On her daughter.
or not?
Yes, it was.
It was. Okay. So like she starts walking. So let's do it real quick.
But like that, and I just pushed the thing up like that, and it
His finger.
hit the trigger.
And where did it hit his face at? Which side? If we're like this, which side?
Moving on his right hand side.
So the gun would have been like this, and would have went off like that. Did she get covered with blood?
I believe a little bit.
Okay.
The cleanup was so thorough that when Melody woke up, the house was spotless, and she had no knowledge of where the evidence had been taken. Despite Melody and Mike's insistence that she did not help clean up, investigators found it hard to believe that Mike could have managed the entire cover-up alone.
Jimmy on the floor with, and he had the gun pointed at her head.
Okay. So you saw that?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear him saying anything to Melody?
No.
Okay. Did you hear anything else?
No.
When you got up the stairs, what made you feel at that point it was necessary to shoot?
I'm really not sure.
Okay. So, did you hear anything that would have made you think that your life was in danger?
I heard the safety on his gun go click off.
Okay, well that's a really important detail that I think we need to explore. So when you got upstairs, you heard a safety click off?
Yep.
Okay. How do you know what that sound sounds like?
If you've been around guns very much, you can know what it sounds like. It's just a click.
Okay. Have you ever used the 1100 before?
Yes, I've hunted with it many times.
So you know exactly what the sound of a safety clicking off is?
Yeah.
Okay. And you saw Mr. Whitaker up there and had seen the gun in his hand.
Yep.
And you heard the safety click off.
Yes.
Is that when you shot, when you heard the safety click off?
Yes.
Okay. Now, once the safety clicked off and you shot, where did you shoot him?
In the eye, kind of in an angle right there.
Okay. And when you hit him with the bullet, presumably, did he fall immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
Fell against the refrigerator.
Okay. Was that behind him?
Yes.
Now, where was Melody at this point?
On the floor.
Okay. And you said the gun, when you heard the safety click off, the gun was pointed at her?
Yes.
Melody's false statements to the police about her knowledge of the crime led to her arrest for obstruction of justice. During her on-site interview, she was confronted with questions about her father's actions and their involvement. The dark allegations. As investigators dug deeper, they encountered troubling allegations about Melody's relationship with her father, Mike.
Together, and there would be one bed down there. He was wrong. He was lying. So with respect to him saying that there were noises coming from the basement, that would not be true.
That's It's not true.
Early in the investigation, it became clear that there were disturbing claims about their relationship. Conversations with Jim's family revealed suspicions of an incestuous affair between Mike and Melody. Brandy, Melody's mother, disclosed that Melody had been placed in foster care due to ongoing concerns about her safety with Mike. Reports indicated that Mike had resumed contact with Melody despite previous interventions aimed at keeping them apart. Brandy's allegations suggested that Mike's mother, Denise, was aware of the disturbing relationship and had even purchased lingerie for Melody. However, these claims remained unverified. Further disturbing allegations came from Melody's younger sister, who recounted witnessing inappropriate behavior between Mike and Melody. The sister's testimony added another layer of horror to the case, suggesting that the troubling behavior was not isolated but part of a broader pattern of abuse.
Whose gun was that?
Initially, it was Michael and Jimmy's gun.
Okay.
I bought it from my brother for $150. I paid him in payments over time. He didn't get the $150 for took him like 4 weeks. I think he was expecting it all at once. He was kind of bummed about the whole stretching it out. But that's how I acquired the gun. My brother asked to borrow it. He wanted to go hunting for deer. I wondered why he wanted to borrow my gun to go hunting. I mean, he had plenty of his own, and Jimmy certainly had plenty of guns.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, John. Michael had stated to you that he wanted to borrow your gun. Is that right?
Yes, because it hunted good. He had hunted with it before.
Okay, but that struck you as curious because Mike and James both have their own guns. Is that right?
Yeah.
But he wanted to borrow yours. Did you let him borrow it?
It was an argument. But he eventually, I let him borrow it. Not when he came for it, but the next time he came around, we had a little scuffle, not a fight, but an argument about the gun, and I let him borrow it. Because when he sold it to me, he did ask me for permission to use it, to go hunting with it. So I let him, I thought nothing of it.
All right. Again, please keep your voice up, okay? How long was the, so you just gave him the gun?
Yeah.
How long was the gun gone until you saw it again?
I was thinking it was about 2 weeks, but it was about a month that he had it, I do believe.
Okay, when did you see it again?
A short time before all the cops came.
All right, a short time before all the cops came, is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, well, tell us about it. How did you see it? Where did you see it?
It was under my daughter's bed. It was there when I got home from work. I didn't notice it until I was laying down.
The role of the family friend, Keith, a family friend, provided crucial information about Mike and Melody's relationship. He reported that he had witnessed intimate encounters between them and had even been invited by Melody to join them. This revelation was consistent with other reports of Mike's violent reactions when confronted with suspicions of their relationship. The authorities were left to question whether the relationship between Mike and Melody could have been a motive for Jim's murder. This new angle added complexity to an already intricate case, suggesting that the murder might have been the result of a twisted love triangle. The quest for Jim's remains. The search for Jim's remains became a focal point of the investigation.
Where's Mr. Whitaker at?
We haven't seen him. Last time we seen him was 5th.
Was the 5th?
Yeah.
Where did he go?
He was at the house, and we went over to a friend's house, and we came back around 5 a.m., and he wasn't home.
I mean, where would he go?
I don't know. I thought he went and just did something to himself or something. That's what he's been talking about.
You think that something happened to Jim?
Well, he told me and Dad, he was like, I'm just gonna not be here when I'm there, and you guys can keep this place because my main family member that got in.
Anything unusual
Jim's living home? Or do you think something may have happened to him? Or
Just the fact that he was gone. He didn't say anything or even write anything. Because he usually never left without writing a note or whatever.
he didn't leave those?
He did leave one, but Dad had it put on a white cabinet. And it's just like, oh. He doesn't want to live anymore because my blood was life or whatever. I didn't read the note personally. But he handed it to me and I skimmed over.
Mike's walkthrough of the crime scene revealed the steps he took to dispose of Jim's body. He described using a sled to move Jim's body, followed by burning the remains to destroy any evidence. During the investigation, authorities discovered bone fragments in the burn pit. These fragments included what appeared to be a skull cap and medically implanted scaffolding, consistent with Jim's previous spinal surgery. Despite these findings, the exact cause of Jim's death remained unclear due to the extensive damage to the remains. Mike's stepfather, Frank, was also brought into the investigation. Initially cooperative, Frank's involvement became suspect when he was arrested for obstruction of justice. Frank had been implicated in discussions about destroying evidence, specifically Jim's teeth. This revelation led detectives to conduct another search for the missing jawbone and teeth. The chilling confessions.
To the basement.
Okay. So she went off to the basement.
Yes.
What did you do at that point?
I went out by the burn pile, got the deer sled, and put him on it, and wheeled him out by the burn pit.
Did you do this by yourself?
Yes, I did.
Now, there's been some testimony about whether it's possible for a person to lift or drag another person. You've heard that testimony, right?
Yes.
You said you've gone hunting for deer before?
Yep.
What is the purpose of a deer sled?
Put the deer on it and drag it back.
Okay. Would you be able to do that with a deer that you couldn't otherwise lift on your own?
Yes.
Is the purpose of that sled to drag something that's heavy?
Yes.
Okay. And so you yourself are the sole person who dragged the body out to the burn pile?
Yes.
And then you said you dragged it out there to the burn pile, right?
Yes.
What did you do next?
I drug it out there, put it by the burn pile, got some brush, piled it around it. I've been up for probably 2 days. I went back to the house and laid down.
Okay. So you put it out there and then basically covered it with brush.
Yes.
And then you laid down in the house. How long were you lying down for?
Like 2 hours.
Okay, when you finally woke up, what happened next?
He'd come back up. I helped him work on his car. He left, and it was probably about dark time. Then I went out, took the Coleman fuel, and set him on fire.
Now, Mr. Dixon, I have to ask you this. You understand how that sounds, right?
It sounds awful.
As the investigation progressed, unsettling confessions emerged. Melody's cellmates reported disturbing conversations about her relationship with Jim and her father. These confessions raised further questions about the true nature of the relationships within the family and whether they played a role in the murder. A search of Melody's phone revealed incriminating evidence. The phone contained messages and videos that hinted at her involvement in the crime and her relationship with both Jim and her father. Disturbingly, Melody admitted to having had relations with her father while under the influence of methamphetamine. The legal aftermath. In 2021, Michael Dixon was sentenced to life in prison for murder, along with additional charges for tampering with evidence and engaging in corrupt acts. His conviction was a grim reminder of the horrors he had committed. Melody received a 9-year prison sentence for obstruction of justice and tampering with evidence, while Frank faced probation for his role in obstructing justice. Despite these convictions, many questions remained unanswered. The full extent of Jim's murder and the exact circumstances surrounding his death continued to elude investigators. The chilling details of the case, including the disturbing revelations about the relationships within the family, left a lasting impact on all those involved. The case of Jim Whitaker serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind closed doors. The investigation into his murder uncovered a web of deceit, familial betrayal, and unimaginable cruelty. As the story unfolded, it revealed the horrifying lengths to which individuals can go to cover up their crimes. While justice was served to some extent with the convictions of Michael Dixon, Melody, and Frank, the full truth about Jim's death remains shrouded in mystery. The chilling details of this case will continue to haunt those who seek to understand the depths of human depravity and the consequences of unchecked darkness within a family.